My friends, welcome to Business at Breakfast International. And as is Misty's custom, every single week, she selects someone from the crowd and actually pulls them in as the guest speaker. Today, we have an opportunity to actually hear from one of the guest speakers who's usually a guest speaker at other locations. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. So we actually get to learn more about one of our favorite topics, which is actually relationship building. So the best news of all, we have with us today Biz Leads expert herself, Brenda Marie Sheldrake. Brenda Marie, we're glad that you're here, and we would love to hear how you navigate your business, what your infomercial is once again. And when we are finished with your 8-minute segment, we would love, love, love to have everyone here be able to ask you some questions. Are you up for it?
Fabulous. Love it.
All right, let's do it. Smile pretty. Excellent. And your time starts right now. Take it away.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it. So as I said, I'm Brenda Marie Sheldrake. I am the Biz Leads expert at Biz Leads Expert, and I am located in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. I teach busy entrepreneurs to generate more qualified leads for their business through relationship building. So, one of the things I started doing this just after COVID hit, and the reason I started was because if you look on my LinkedIn profile, on the banner of my LinkedIn profile, it says that I generated 3,000 qualified leads in 1 year.
Wow.
When COVID hit, sorry about that. When COVID hit, um, people started asking me how I did that. They wanted to know how did you get that many leads? How do you get that many leads? And can you teach me to get that many leads too? And the answer was very simply, of course, I can teach anybody who's willing to put the effort into it how to generate leads like that and how to have those leads be qualified leads, because that was one of the major things that people ask me. I don't want to spend a lot of time building relationships with people who turn out to be tire kickers. Well, I have a news flash for you today. Your tire kickers can become some of your very best assets if you learn how to work with them. Here's what I mean by that. Tire kicker is probably not the person who wants to buy your product. That's what I mean by tire kicker. They came to check you out, they came to find out more about what you do. But once they talk to you, they realize that no, they're not ready to buy a Kangen water system. They didn't realize how really, really expensive those products are. And so they're not quite ready to sign up yet. But here's what they could be ready to do. And here's where they become such a valuable asset. There's two ways to use those people. The first way is they've seen your presentation, they've heard you talk about your products. You could ask them if they'd be willing to give you a testimonial. Now, their testimonial doesn't have to be about having bought your product, because their testimonial can be about how considerate you are that you don't demonstrate pushy sales. Because who in this room wants to be in front of a pushy salesman? I bet there's nobody going to raise their hand for that one. But if you know that somebody's not a pushy salesperson, you're more likely to be willing to meet with them. Now, the second way that these people are so useful is if you are in front of somebody who serves the same population that you do. So, if you're selling Kangen water systems, you want people who drink water. Well, pretty much everybody drinks water. So probably whoever you're talking to, their target population drinks water. And if you frame it properly, because you know who their target population is. So for example, and I'm going to just make a little bit up here because I don't know the pitch for King and Water. But say that you're talking to somebody who works with single moms, and you could say to this person, you know, one of the huge benefits of Kangen water is that it's so much healthier for your kids. The kids who drink Kangen water are 5 times healthier than kids who drink tap water or kids who drink Kangen water. I know one of the things I know is that water is fluoridated in a lot of places, and I know that from hearing the presentation, I know that that's not necessarily really healthy. So you could touch on that point. And then what you say to this person who's not buying your product is, if you meet anybody who has children, if you meet anybody, if you're working with anybody who has children, and if you know you already know they're working with children, then you say, I would love an introduction. I'm not asking you to sell my product. I'm asking you to give me an opportunity to present to people that I don't have access to now. So that's my tip for today. I gave you my audio business card. I gave you my 3 minute, my 30 second at the beginning. I'm going to close it out by saying I would love to help you all create leads that last and clients that stick.
You mentioned earlier during your infomercial, your elevator pitch, that you're also looking for speaking engagements. Can you tell us a little bit about what group would be a good fit for you?
Okay, so I'm looking for business groups. Business groups are the my favorite platform because I'm talking about relationship building in business.
Okay.
So one of the groups that I'm really looking for opportunities to get in front of is different direct sales groups. So if any, and I know there are several of you here who are in direct sales, I would love to teach your team how to get more leads. Because if I teach your team how to get more leads, they're more likely to stay with you longer because they're getting business.
Perfect. You also mentioned on LinkedIn for people that have the gray banner. What do you suggest they do about that?
That gray banner doesn't serve you. The problem with the gray banner is that when someone pulls up your LinkedIn profile and they see the gray banner, two things happen. Number one, they have no idea what you do from your banner. Your banner doesn't, it's prime real estate. Anybody who teaches LinkedIn training teaches that that gray banner is prime real estate. If you leave it gray, you're passing up. It's like saying that to somebody who offers you a full-size billboard on the freeway, no, I don't want it. That's what you're saying in essence by leaving it blank. The other problem with it is that it leaves a subtle impression that maybe you don't really care as much about your business because you're not shouting it from the rooftops.
Perfect. Great explanation. Thank you. Debbie, you can kill the timer now. I appreciate you doing that very much. Brenda was in perfect time with a few seconds left, so that worked out great. My friends, if you have any questions, this is a perfect time to ask. Relationship building, LinkedIn certainly, and definitely our Biz Leads expert has lots of answers for lots of our questions. Who wants to go first?
I feel like I could.
Dr. Chris, go ahead.
Um,
Thanks very much. Thanks for that, Brenda. That was very informative, as ever. The question I have is in terms of the authentic relationships that you talk about, what are the implications of AI on those and the impacts of AI on those on developing those relationships?
AI makes it more important than ever that you make an effort to build genuine relationships. AI is allowing everybody to build the bots that crawl on their LinkedIn, that answer your messages when you are messaging. And those bots, you can't build a relationship with a bot. But people want to know, remember the most important point that I always remind people, that make me feel special. A bot doesn't make you feel special.
Thank you.
Great message. Absolutely. Karen, did you have something?
yeah, look, I spend hours building relationships, yeah, talking to people on Facebook and all that, and it's just an endless job. And if it is any tip about what you could say rather than just keep going on and on. I mean, I'm looking for pain points, but a lot of people don't want to talk about pain points. So is it worth talking further with them?
I have a perfect solution to that one. It's one of the first lessons that I teach in my courses. There are two questions that you can use when you get on calls with people. Now, don't dive in with these as your first two questions, but after you've had a bit of a chat about, what do you do? Why do you do it? Because here's one thing, please be careful about saying, what do you do? Because
Yeah.
if you read my LinkedIn, you know what I do. And so I feel like, oh, you didn't even take the time to look. But if you say, why do you do what you do? My LinkedIn doesn't necessarily answer that. And that shows you that you're interested in me. Now, two questions to follow up to put into that conversation. The first question is, what is your superpower? What are you really good at? People love to talk about what their gift is, what their superpower is. Now,
Yeah.
the second question can be a little bit harder to get an answer to, but I have an explanation that you can follow it up with that makes people more likely to answer it. Because this is the way I use my second question, and this is the way I generated my first 3,000 leads. My second question was, what is your kryptonite? Now, I think everybody in this room is old enough to remember Superman, but if
Okay.
people don't remember Superman, or perhaps sometimes people will just say, what do you mean by my kryptonite? The answer to that is, and if you started off with what's your kryptonite, it's a little lighter. It's not as scary. So they say, what do you mean by my kryptonite? What's something that's holding you back from taking your business to where you'd like it to be? Now, people are still, you are absolutely right, Karen. A lot of people are reluctant to answer that question. In fact, some people are going to answer you by saying, why are you asking me what's holding me back? Because they want to know two things. One, are you going to use it against them? And two, are you going to use it to try and sell them something? This is how I answered that question. I do 3 to 5 getting to know you calls every day. I ask these two questions of everybody I meet. What do you think the chances are that I'll meet somebody who can help you with the thing that's holding you back? And they're going to think about that for a minute and they're going to say it's a lot better than their chances if they're not talking to anybody. So then the next thing you say is, well, then here's my reason for asking you. Would you rather keep looking for your solution yourself, spending the time and energy on going through and screening tons of people? Or if I meet somebody who can solve your problem, I can introduce you. Now, I don't guarantee they will solve your problem, but I can provide you with an introduction to them. I can almost always guarantee you, Karen, that they'll then answer your pain point question. And if they won't, then they're not your person and you just move along.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great question,
Thank
Karen.
you.
Thank you for that. And thank you, Brenda Marie, for that answer. So since you brought it up, this is one of the things I always mention. Anytime you ask a question of anyone, most of the time we ask the questions that we want to be asked of ourselves. So, Brenda
Mhm.
Marie, what's your superpower?
Ah, my superpower is connecting people and helping them to feel special.
And
I
you're
can
great
leave
at you're great
anybody.
at that. Yeah, you really are. You're great at that. I've seen you in action before, and you are great at that. So,
Thank
to
you.
that end, what's your kryptonite?
Oh, my kryptonite is procrastination, and I am working very hard. And any of you in this room who have suggestions or ideas for how to resolve that issue, please reach out to me. My kryptonite is definitely procrastination. And if I could add one thing, Kathy, just
Sure.
around one of my answers there, when I was talking about bots,
Uh-huh.
anybody in this room who creates bots or helps people to have bots, I am not saying that there's no place for AI in the world right now. I think AI is very critical. And I think that there are really effective ways to use bots. But what I would recommend is that when you're meeting with someone, find out what their strategy is for using that bot. Find out what their strategy is for collecting the information and how you can do it. Because if they tell you, this is my personal opinion. If they tell you that they can create an AI tool that will do all your social media posting and you don't have to do anything, the key word being there that you don't do anything, then I would step back from that. Because how much of me is going to be in it if it's doing everything? But if it's going to help me to more effectively do my social media posting, then I would listen up and want more. It's the same thing with the bot that's going to answer messages. If the bot is going to say, "Hi, I'm a bot. Brenda's not available right now because you're in Australia and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, she's sleeping," then I think that's a great tool to have. But if you're going to create me a bot that's going to pretend to be me at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm not sure that is what I want.
Sometimes you have to ask that next question to find out exactly what the client is wanting. How much on a daily basis is your business related to AI? How much AI do you incorporate into what you do on a daily basis?
I use AI every day. I
Okay.
use AI every day, but I use it to help me with strategies. I use it to even in my social media posting, I'll come up with an idea for what I want to post, and I will ask my chat GPT to help me with. I'll put my wording in and say, "Is this wording clear?" The other way that I use it, do you know, for anybody here in the room who understands bank code, if you tell your chat GPT that you want your post to speak to the 4 different personalities of bank code, it will actually tailor your post. It will take your message and it will make sure it'll let you know whether it's going to speak to all 4 of those personalities. I think it's like those are ways that really save me time. And the other way that I use it quite often is I might create the post entirely myself. Then I put it into a graphics creation tool because I spend lots of time. That's one of my doom scroll places if I start looking for the right graphic. So if I ask what my graphics creation to create me a graphic for it, it will create me something that goes with my post and save me so much time. And I stay out of the doom scroll.
That's probably the best news of all. Well, thank you, Brenda Marie. Before we say farewell to Brenda Marie today, does anyone have any questions? Dr. Peter, go ahead.
Just one thing with regard to procrastination. I also used to procrastinate, but now, and for some time now, I write a to-do list every morning, and I go through that. And instead of only doing about 10% of the things I wanted to do, I do about 90, if not 100%. It just encourages me to get what I want done.
You literally write it down?
I literally write it down every
Okay,
morning.
that's a good tip.
And if I
Thank you.
don't finish it the day before, they're the first ones I put on the next day's list.
That's a
Just
great
makes
tip.
it just makes it so much easier because it's not so I don't have to remember and forget and say, oh, I'm only going to do the easy ones. Everything's down there.
Do you put a limit on the number of things that you put on the to-do list, Dr. Peter?
No, because if I don't get through them, I'll put them through for the next day. So that way I've got everything down there. What I might do is prioritize them, urgent and important. Do the important ones first, then the urgent ones, because what's urgent isn't necessarily important, and vice versa.
Isn't that the
I
truth?
prioritize them.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And
That was a great answer.
do
Yeah,
it. Just do it. Yeah.
absolutely. Great answer.
That's my
Once again,
question.
thank you. Go ahead. Yes, Karen.
And with the we all have a chicken list. Do you have an answer?
I used to have.
Yeah.
There are a couple of tools that I use now that have made my chicken list almost non-existent.
Yeah. Okay.
Someday I really want to meet, but I don't know them yet. Okay.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
want this can be as big as I want an introduction to Oprah Winfrey. You can make it as big as that. I want to meet Oprah Winfrey. What you do is you look backwards through your contacts until you find somebody who knows somebody who, because it's not likely. I probably don't have in my first degree contacts anybody who personally knows Oprah Winfrey. But we found that in this day and age, within 3 degrees, you can find somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who can introduce you to anybody you want to meet.
Okay.
I know 2 people who know Oprah Winfrey.
There you go.
See, so
Absolutely.
and that takes the scary away because
Yeah.
Karen, all you would be doing is talking to Sophia. Sophia is going to introduce you to the person who knows Oprah, and Sophia is going to set it up. She's going to say, Karen is looking to meet Oprah Winfrey for this reason. And then it's framed. Then all you have to do is demonstrate to the person that Sophia introduces you to that your reason is pure, that you're not looking for some other reason, that you're not looking to sell her water, to sell her, rocks. You're looking to meet her because you have a question about a book she wrote, for example.
Okay.
So then you talk to that person, and then that person, they make the decision about whether they feel comfortable enough with you to do the next step and do that last introduction, the final introduction.
Okay. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great question and certainly great answer. Thank you again, Brenda Marie, for being our guest speaker today.